about basketball, like the history of it, and how the leagues have developed throughout the years, and how the game has changed from today to the past. It's first started in 1892 by a Canadian professor to keep his students active during the winter time. They needed something to do inside, so he took a soccer ball and two peach baskets and he put them up on the walls. Each and that's the first game of basketball. Originally, it was just a peach basket, and every time you scored, you had to climb up with a ladder and take it down. Eventually, they decided to put a hole at the bottom of the peach basket so they could poke it out. And then in 1908, they replaced peach baskets with the metal rims. Games were played of 9-on-9 for the first couple of years. In 1997, they decided to make it 5 players on each team. But according to ThinkQuest.com, there have been games played with up to 50 players on the court at once. So it's got pretty hectic. At first, he only had 13 rules. Some of them included no dribbling. You had to pass the ball up court. And in 1934, the colleges started playing the games, but they never had any significance for a couple of years. It's just a way to keep their students active. And in 1979, they decided to add the three-point shot. The first leagues came about in 1898. The National Basketball League was the very first league, and it only lasted 5 years. Most leagues, however, only lasted a couple weeks, and then they fell apart. Some of the more major leagues are the National Basketball League, the Philadelphia League, the Eastern League, the New York State League, the Basketball Association of America. One of the more famous ones is the New England Basketball League, that gained a lot of national exposure by signing Bucky Lou. He was the first African American player signed to a basketball team. In 1937, the NCAA was formed. Along with it, 44 teams joined it. In 1937, the National Basketball League became one of the bigger leagues and took down most of the other leagues. In 1946, the Basketball Association of America was created to compete with the National Basketball League. In 1949, the National Basketball League could no longer compete with the BAA, so then they merged to become the NBA. When the NBA first started, there was only 17 teams, 9 in the East and 8 in the West. And the NBA ruled all leagues for about 20-30 years until the ABA came out, the Association of Basketball of America, in 1967. They competed with the NBA until 1976, until the NBA decided to merge with the ABA. According to the NBA Encyclopedia, the ABA's main objective was to merge with the NBA to create a bigger league. And in 1997, the WNBA was formed. When that was formed, there was only 8 teams, 4 in the East and 4 in the West. And basketball has changed a lot since 1892. It's played on all levels: grade school, high school, college, and pro. College is divided up into 3 divisions: D1, D2, and D3. D1 is the most competitive. It's all the bigger schools. And then there's D2, that's like MSUM. Then D3 is just the very small schools. The NBA went from 17 teams to 30 teams. The WNBA went up to 16 teams until 2001, 2002. Then they started losing teams, and now they're down to 12. The game is played all around the world, but it's most famous in America. It's one of the most popular sports in the world, and most courts are played on a court with dimensions of 94 feet by 50 feet. And that's the history of basketball and some of the leagues. I hope you enjoy it.